Hello, all of you special people in YouTube land. Thank you for tuning in to this broadcast. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why am I here? And that's a really good question. Well, first things first, L'chaim, L'chaim. Oh my goodness, the glare. I'm trying to move so to appease the glare for all of you. Cheers. Well, I have decided to do a throw about the future of Donald Trump and the people who have been indicted. The reason I decided to do that is because I can. Let me take my glasses off. Okay, so we are using the Gilded Reverie Lenormand. I've already done the Empaz prayer, and I've been asked to do shorter videos a little bit more often because I know that you guys like them. And now that I have the restream, gosh darn it, why not do it more often? Also, if you could like and subscribe, see what I did there? That would be awesome. Think about being a member. That would also be great. Anyway, let's talk about what I think is going on. The first thing I want to do is I want to give you a remote about the future of Donald Trump and about whether or not he's running on the GOP ticket. It's not going to happen. Even if it were to happen, it's not going to happen. And the reason it's not going to happen is because he will not be on the ballot in certain states. Because if you follow this energy forward, the question becomes state rights. Do those states have a right to not put certain people on the ballot? For example, somebody who's been charged or convicted with certain crimes, convicted in civil case of sexual assault, etc. So it's up to those states whether or not this individual is going to be on the ballot. And I can predict going forward that based on the laws of those states, he may not even be eligible to be on the ballot. So that's something to look forward to. So I don't think that he's going to be on the ballot. There, believe it or not, there's a possibility that Pence could be on the ballot. Pence actually begins to have a group of people working with him, the family, the very people that put Trump in because they wanted Pence to be in. So Pence is actually the person that stands the greatest chance of being the nominee for the Republican Party and possibly his running mate, Nikki Haley. That is what it's looking like. And that's because the money is behind Pence, because the name is familiar. They have to clean up his reputation that he saved the democracy. But ultimately, he is the perfect man. He is the family man. He is the face of the Federalist Society. All they have to do is position him to be marketable to the general public. I think it will be Pence and possibly Nikki Haley as his running mate. Now, going back to the issue of what's going to happen to Trump and his henchmen, here is the main feeling I get when I look at the Lenormand. The first card that we pulled, I did the Empaz prayer, I did the cards. I like the Lenormand because they're pictures, and pictures, when you meditate on them in an alpha state, you start to see things. And In HCRV, heart-centered remote viewing, it's called quick technique. We get ourselves in an alpha state, usually by doing something like an empath prayer. We use a technique to ground ourselves, and then we gaze at the image. And what I like about these cards is that much of it is based on what you see, but there's some symbolism here. And the first thing I feel when I go into this energy, this is the fifth card. It's the tree of life. And the tree of life is the first in the blitz for the future of Trump and the other people that have been indicted in Georgia. The tree of life is interesting. It's this idea that the life force that exists in the world has multiple dimensions. But the takeaway here is you're either inscribed in the book of life or you are not. You're either going to be saved or you are not. There's an account and a reckoning that is spoken about, particularly right now, because we're entering into the days of awe. We're entering into the days of, in the Hebrew calendar, where we go back to examining our actions. We collect the harvest and we prepare for the winter. So this time of reckoning is upon us. But the other thing I see in this meditation is I see that the further down they go, the deeper the roots go. And so this individual is part of a network that is very deep. It's a very deep root. It's a very corrupt root. And that is what the fundamental issue is. We're untying something that's very old, very dark, and it's connected with other crimes. And so if this individual were to cooperate fully with the feds, it would open the door to hundreds, if not thousands, of other people who are culpable of other serious crimes, because this thing has roots. And so when you begin to examine Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, and his henchmen, you start to see the mafia. Then you start to pull at the strings of the mafia, and then you start getting connected to other crimes, etc. So be prepared for this thing to have tentacles upon tentacles upon tentacles. The other issue that comes up here for Donald Trump and the people that are being indicted in Georgia is that they rolled the dice. They rolled the dice. And when you are a criminal and when you break the law, it's a roll of the dice. How long can you get away with this? And so we have two really interesting cards. The first, that this thing has tentacles, that they will continue to dig deeper and deeper, finding more and more roots and more connections to more and more crime that goes on for decades, which is the real reason they want Donald Trump to flip. And that these individuals rolled the dice, as all criminals did, hoping for the best, but unfortunately their luck ran out. Now, here is the thing that is also interesting in these cards. Based on these cards, the people that were indicted today are already convicted. They are already guilty. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to be able to be found not guilty. The evidence against these individuals is irrefutable. And the only way to save them is through some type of miracle. And so we have here, I love this card, 43, the Lenormand. The people are in the maze, but it also looks like a grave 6 feet under. So they're already in the maze of their own creation. They're already 6 feet under. However, the final outcome for them in this reading is the bouquet. And the bouquet is to be given an offer or a proposal, which means that a plea deal is here. A plea deal is being offered to Trump. And given the fact that there are so many tentacles of corruption linked to him, we're looking at something like over 60 charges, if I'm not mistaken, possibly more. I think with his age and other factors, not just for him, but also the other people in this card reading, the fact that they're already, it's already looking like they have already been convicted, I strongly believe that they will take this offer. In terms of the final card, I have not picked the final card yet, but let's go and see if they take the final offer. Obviously, I think they did, which is why it ended like that, but they will take the final offer. However, they will serve time in jail. People had joked about Guantanamo or Gitmo or these sorts of places. It's very possible that they could serve prison time outside the U.S. simply because they would be better suited to being somewhere where they're not worshipped or seen as heroes. You do have this card, the ship coming in, which could also be that they've been saved, but it also can sometimes be a transportation vehicle carrying you from one place to another, which could indicate that they're possibly going to be serving time outside the US because of the nature of the crimes. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this very quick, fun video on the latest and the greatest. Be sure and share, like, subscribe if you haven't had a chance to do so yet. Also, think about being a member. Memberships help bring you into our private salon where we have private readings on Saturdays, but also we teach HCRV at the Elders and Empaths level. We hope to see you there. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you next time. Be well.